Raise your hand if you can hear. Good. Okay, thank you for joining. Today we'll be talking about. Oh, by the way, I'm Lucen from Ascendo. Just in case. Right. Let's start. A little bit on your end. You can print your name. How long have you known Ascendo? Did you know that Ascendo have any COVID-19 solutions? You can just type in the message. I might be looking at this side because the monitor is over here. In today's agenda, we talk about Ascendo first, and then we talk about the VA market cap, why VA is trending right now. Then after that, we have the Eocortex product and solutions, and then why Eocortex have advantage over the others. Then after that, on part 2, we'll talk about the licensing model for our Eocortex, and then our partner program, and then as well as the partnership roadmap, which currently we're looking for partners to help us push more faster on these VA solutions. So our core product, basically, we have Falco, which is a door access system, and video management, visitor management systems that is already integrated with the door access. Then it also have alarm system, lift, and then after that, we also integrate this with the car park barriers, turnstile. Then we have the Eocortex, and then we also do Bosch. Oh yeah, then PSIM down here is actually WingGuard. It's a PSIM solution for this. Then we also have this one. This one would be the IP intercom jacks. Okay, we talk about video analytic market cap. Right now, because of 2020, everything went down. So we start from the analytics start from 2020. So this year the growth is 10.35%, and they predict that as it grow, it will grow either exponentially or the same every year. So the project market cap 94 billion is about 95 billion growth by 2025. And in most of video analytics that we've seen today, those that is being used or searched by Google, and those that people are looking more is when CCTVs can be deployed. Some of the times, they want to make sure that even though that it's a CCTV looking area, they don't want people to actually see the place, but they still need someone to monitor it. So that's why the private area is there. And then the second one will be the license plate recognition. Instead of registering, they actually want to have the license plate recognition. It's easier and faster. And then facial recognition. So facial recognition, basically, there's a few difference that I will explain later. Why facial recognitions in the market, there's a lot difference. And then people and vehicle counting, also different, because counting can be inline, can be just counting people, or can be counting an area with people. And then the last one will be the recognition of behavior and accidents, whereby a lot of people are looking for it right now. Most of the XU used for VA, whereby they don't need it. This one, I think some of you may have heard it before. They already have a security guard they can actually see. So why would they need a VA? And some people just hire people to watch the cameras. Some company does that. And well, CCTV records everything, or the guard will record everything. So usually they don't understand why the need for VA. Or if it's a closed community, or if it's a MCST, usually they will tell you that it's those people that they know comes in and goes out. And when something happens, the guard are the first one to respond. So those are the things that only when something happens, you will see that they are looking for it. It's because then they start to see what are the usage in terms of VA. But in recent, especially since last year, Singapore have seen a shortage of guards. So I would say it's quite sufficient to have this kind of solution right now. If let's say some companies are looking into how to do one person that can take care of 10 different sites. So CCTVs has always been around, and then what VA would do is that it would actually take CCTVs and then automate it so that you can have a better business performance, and then in turn helps you to maintain your business as well. So we come to product and solutions. So the solution basically can be seen in two segments, whereby it's either to boost the business performance or is to increase the object security. So having CCTVs is good. This one would actually complement it in terms of how the CCTV is being used. We come to the part whereby the video analytics function is so the first one is the facial recognition. Now for Eocortex, facial recognition is being divided into a few categories. We have facial recognition full, we have facial recognition light, we have face detection. So the second one is actually face detection here. So the difference is actually for face recognition full, even if you are wearing a mask like I am right now, it can still actually detect who am I if I register my face inside the database. Then the third one is the license plate recognition. Abandoned object detection, I believe most of you have already seen these functions in some of the CCTVs. So I would say there are some things that you can set in terms of abandoned object detection. Hard hat detection, mostly used in construction sites. Then face mask detector, okay, here, this one. So make sure that that particular area, everyone is wearing a mask, especially in retail or restaurants. And then we have people counting, and we have people counting in queue. And then we have heat map. You can create images with heat maps to let you know how many people cross a particular area. Then we have personal monitoring. So for personal monitoring, it's more towards making sure that the person is at a desk or at a certain location. Crowd monitoring, and unique visitor counting. We have fire and smoke detector. This one is not by sensor, it's by video analytics. So just to make sure that everyone understands, smoke and fire detector analytics is based on videos. Shelf funnel check, this is for more for retail tracking. If you have a certain item that you want to track, person or even animal, you can do tracking. Fish eye dewarping, search for objects. So currently we can search for person wearing certain clothes, or we can search for dangerous weapons, or we can search for lost children who is wearing, let's say, yellow clothes, black pants. And if your cameras have a mic inbuilt, you can also do loud sound detector. And then sabotage detection, basically, I think some of the CCTV has these functions. But of course, for Eocortex, there's a few difference in it. One is that if it's get turned, if it's turned off, if it's sprayed or covered, I think most of the system right now does have this. And then we have the failover. So the failover, probably later I will explain a little bit more, because it's not a backup, it's a failover. Then we have the video wall. And the next one, we have the frame area blurring. This is the privacy area that I mentioned just now, whereby a particular area could be private, or the user want want to make sure that this particular area the guards cannot see, but still at the same time they need to make sure that it's being monitored. We have the PTZ camera control. And the last one is the audio stream processing. So I will cover a few video analytics, which is mostly widely used, and hopefully so much, China. All right. So hopefully it would benefit you in terms of when you propose systems, VA systems to your customers. So the face recognition modules, as mentioned earlier, is that we have a few modules to it. First one is the face recognition full, and then the second one, the face recognition light. And we also have face recognition based on unique visitor counting. So those are the few that entail and uses the facial recognition algorithm. So what else can face recognition do besides just recognizing face? So for us is that it's possible for you to actually integrate these particular functions to access control systems. And then after that, you can create a blacklist and whitelist so that you can control that particular door, who can come in, who can go out. So anyone have any question on these face recognitions functions? No, okay, I'll move on. So for face that turns away from the cameras or mask, as mentioned just now, is that currently it can still be recognized. Now compared to before, before when you have a face which is turned 45 degree away from the cameras, they are not able to detect. So now it's better and more accurate, even with the mask on. Then we have tracking. So tracking basically one of the few features that most cameras, CCTV cameras right now, you have this masking of area whereby if someone were to cross or something were to cross, or even changes in changes in the pixels, it will come up with notifications or triggers. So with the tracking, basically it prevents false positive in a way that only person that crosses or vehicle that crosses or a motorcycle that crosses that particular area or line, and then it will actually generate notifications. So this is something that can be applied in a lot of situations. And then we have search for objects. So on the left side here, you can actually see the options whereby you can click what the person's wear, what pants, what color is the pants. And using just these few information, you can search through the database, particular cameras, who fits that particular description, and then come up with possible results. And then after that, you can actually click on the results and stream down who you're actually looking for. And you can also look for currently firearm, baseball bat, except for knife, because knife is too small. So maybe in the future that can be input, but currently knife is a bit too small. So if you have any question regarding functions, or you want to know whether or not that particular functions have a certain features that is not written in the slides, do let me know. I can explain it to you. Right, the integration with thermal cameras. So as we know nowadays, with the COVID, thermal cameras is being deployed almost everywhere. checkpoints actually, but because of the border closed, so no one actually went close to the checkpoint right now. So you won't be able to see much except for a few places whereby they still have these cameras with thermal features. Right. So what do you have when you sign up with us is you get trial licenses. You get free trial licenses for any projects that you want to do, right? And of course, it's a 30 days trial license. You can actually do it in on-prem for your customer if you want. You get free trainings by either me or my technical manager. Then you get free promotional marketing materials, and we can also set up webinars together with you. So we can think of something that to work together as long as it's within these few categories. Right. So Eocortex has been in the market since 2008. So there are more than 10 years of development. This year alone, they already upgrade the software twice. So it's an ongoing upgrades, and it's a good thing that the software development is actually kind of quick in terms of catching up with what the market needs. So with over 6,000 IP cameras being able to support, uh, they can also support on-VIF, PSIA, RTSP connections. Now, most of the cameras support RTSP. So as long as you can get RTSP connections, Eocortex can actually uh, use that particular video stream to do analytics. And the next one is scalability. Scalability means that the numbers of cameras that you can add in, or number of cameras that you can actually put into the system and build a video wall, there's no limitation to it. The easy to evaluate is actually most of the functions that you see just now is actually inside the GUI's selections, whereby there's not much changes in algorithms, or there's not much command that you need to actually key in order for you to get the functions working. So most of it is actually click and play. And the last one is that if you want to deploy in Linux-based servers, you can. Of course, these are the two operating system that is currently in the market, which depends on whether you want to deploy with less cost, which is Linux based, or you can use a Windows based. Now, for end users, why would they want to go with Eocortex? One is that a simple installation, but of course, since that we're providing them the services, we will be installing for them. So it's actually advantage for us as well. And then the web functionality, the over 20 video analysis modules that we have is already inbuilt into the system, right? And then the pricing. So I will show the pricing later on after we finish the whole webinar. It's user-friendly, as I said. The GUI basically shows you everything that is available in terms of what function it has, what can it do. Then mobility, you can use a mobile phone, web browser to actually access the system and then do changes to it if you want. One of the main thing that Eocortex have is actually the system health monitoring services, that it helps you to monitor whether there's any issue with the hard disk, whether there's any issue with the network, and then it will actually prompt you if there is an issue. So these are the few things that helps you in terms of your deployment and your actions, whereby when there's a hard disk issue, before it dies, we'll let you know and you can actually change it first. But of course, we also have server replication services that you can actually do for any system that you actually want to deploy under Eocortex. So it's easy for you to actually replicate the server end of the day, and then just pump the video into the new server. So any question here? Right. We reached the second part, the licensing model. Now for every license, it's tagged to one camera without an expiry date. So that means even if one day after the second year you say, oh, I don't want to pay, you can still use it until the thing breaks down. So there are 5 main license that you can choose from. So the ML, the LS, the ST, EN, and UL. So all these licenses basically in the next slides would, anyone want to take a picture of it, you can take it now. But I will share the slides licensing later on. For those that registered, I will have your email, I will send it to you. So what can the license do in terms of functions wise will be here. So as you can see, is that for ML is actually just a simple license to do recording. And then the LS has the free face mask detection when you buy LS. And for STs, you have the face detection, you have the abandoned objects, you have the tracking, and then you have search for objects free. Then for enterprise, you have the same thing as the ST. The only difference is that they actually have a different option when it comes to whether the server can do replication or failover. So for the Ultra license, it basically have all the functions for all the analytics except for license plate recognition. That one basically is a license by itself for license plate recognition. Right. So for ML, the additional features that it has besides just recording. Right. Hafiz has a question, I think. Okay, can you explain no expiry license? No expiry license means that you buy one time. Next year we don't charge you for the license anymore. Yeah, it's a one-time charge. It means you buy once. That's it. For the cost, yes, after this webinar, I will actually share the price. Right, that's good. That's good. Because costing is very important. So we're gonna make sure that it's cheaper than other video analytics. That's reason why that for your case, I think once you learn all these things, you'll be the one maintaining it and servicing as well. So we will actually only come in into the pictures when licensing is involved. So when I say licensing is involved, later I'll explain why that's the case. Does that answer your question, Hafiz? Right, it's good. So if you can see here, there's a smart assistant Eva. This is actually a chatbot. So all the licenses have a chatbot that you can actually use to, instead of apps that you can click and then show the video, a chatbot can also do the same thing, but of course in a more interactive way, right? But of course it also has a mobile client that you can actually use it as per other software that is out there on the CCTV. You can just click it and you can see all the cameras that you have. But the chatbot wise would actually help you if, let's say, you don't need to see everything, specific things that you can actually talk to the bot and then you actually show you, or you want to do some setups. So we have here the failover. Failover means the camera failover. Now, camera failover can be one camera or can be 10 cameras that you actually want to do a failover. So it's a very customized system in a way that everyone would have a lot of cameras deployed. But when it comes to failover, it's you don't have to reconfigure the whole thing or plug in and plug out or do a standby or standby. The failover basically, if anything would happens, it would actually, the other server would actually pick it up. Then you have the video wall, as mentioned just now, is that you can create a video wall based on the numbers of servers that you actually deployed. Then the operator chat, the Active Directory, if you have one, any environment with the Active Directory, you can integrate it into the software for login usage. Enterprise and UL. Ah, okay. The difference is actually here. For personal monitoring, for enterprise, you need to pay for this particular module, while UL doesn't. And then smoke fire, loud sound detector, fish ID warping, heat map. So these are the difference for enterprise and ultra. Because this part is actually the features that it has on the back end mostly. So on the analytic wise, oh yeah. All right, slide too fast. So the only thing that you probably need to know is that the license plate recognition is a license by itself. Right? Let's see. Everyone clear on this particular slide, but this part? It's okay, I'll move on now. Right. So the last part here is actually the video analytics. The video analytics servers that you see at the bottom here. What that one does is, for an environment where there's a lot of cameras, you can actually offload the analytics portion to video analytics server. Right, so we're back here. All right, so as you can see, there is a REST API. So those that knows what a REST API is, yeah, the integration is already available for Eocortex. So you just need to have programmers who can understand the REST APIs in order to integrate to any of the system that you might have. So that's the reason why for door access, usually people actually use video analytics to actually integrate, and it doesn't have to. You don't have to start from scratch. So with the REST APIs, you can actually use it to integrate it more faster. So this portion is good on the features. Yeah, it's a hardware server. So the hardware requirements, a few basic things, is that it has to be a powerful server. For video analytics, it requires graphic cards or a GPU for processing all the analytics. So the GPU requirements, I can actually list down what GPU they can actually use, or what are the minimum requirement for the GPUs that you can actually deploy. Because as we all know, GPUs today are expensive due to global shortage, and probably in the future, GPU is getting more and more expensive. Yes, you can. So if you want to do a test or trial, you can actually just write in after the webinar and let us know that you want to do a trial, and we'll give you a trial licenses for you to test out. So if you already own a server and you want to test it out, yes, you can. And we will also let you know what are the analytics that requires a GPU. So those analytics that doesn't require any GPU can actually test it out on any server that you have. Right. So the minimums, right. So the minimum specs, if you're thinking what are the minimum specs, is that it has to be at least an i7, 10 gen, 11 gen. It's up to you. Try not to use anything that's lower than 10 gen, because the result will varies. Right. So we have two ways to deploy the licenses. One is through a USB key. and then the other one is through a soft key. So the trial license actually covers the soft key part. Now, most of you knows that the USB key basically is much more easier, but of course, if you lose the USB key, that's it, GG. So for the soft key, is that you got to make sure that there's nothing that's going to shorten your server life, because usually for server, you have it in a server room or a data center, which is much more safer in terms of heat, so that you can keep the server as long as possible. So I hope this portion is clear, easy to understand. So the partnership discount that we have currently is stated here, which later on I will go to the pricing after the whole slides. All right, and for our partnership roadmap, anyone that has a current VA system that want to switch over to Eocortex, you can actually get 50% off the licenses. So compared to this one, it's actually a big jump. So as long as you can get a site that has a VA server with more than 10 cameras or 10 licenses, and you switch them over, because it could be they are paying every year, and with Eocortex they pay one time, and you can convert that particular you can convert that particular cost into your services, which I think most customers will actually like it, right? So of course, we also want to make sure that you get enough support in terms of technical, in terms of marketing. So we'll help you that along the way. So we want to make sure that you win the projects, you get more customers that actually look into this Eocortex for you, and why they want to go with these solutions, right? Any question here? Right? Nope. Okay. Right. So we open up the whole session for Q&A first. So if you have any question, you can actually ask, and we can go back and take a look at the slides and see which one you have any question on.
Hi, Lyson, can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Yeah, Hafiz here again. I just want to understand more of the after sales thing. So since this is a one-off, right?
Yep.
How would be like if there's any issue with the system and all through the years, then if there is a need to get your company down, it's there will be charged, or how does it go? Is there an after sales service or something like that?
We will try to train you as much as possible to the level whereby we won't actually need to go down and help you in a way, because to be honest, the system is quite easy to deploy.
Okay,
Yeah.
understand. So first things first, when it's already on board and all, there'll be a training session for our technicians and all
Yes.
to
Correct.
understand the system better.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we'll
Understand.
teach you the from installations, from the license, how to input the license, how to configure. But of course, um, every year we do have updates. So the configuration parts may change from time to time, especially like the hard hat right now and the crowd monitoring. Um, it changes from a simple what we call that, the crowd monitoring to a complex counting, whereby in a
Mm-hmm.
frame they can actually count up to 15 people. So last time is that you need to hit a certain crowd in order for the notification to come out. So now you can actually configure in a frame to do either one person, 2 person, 3 person, all the way up to 15.
I
So
see,
that
I see.
particular portion on configuration wise, as we go along, every year we would ask you to come back and do a refreshment.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
One more thing, would there be any like preventive maintenance schedule needed for the system to run? Or we
Uh,
can just say B, then there'll be the health system will update us as and when.
yes, correct. Actually, for the maintenance wise, you don't actually have to go down and do anything unless the notification actually sends you a notify you that there's a issue with the hard disk, or there's an issue with when it boot up. So
Okay.
then you need to do something about it.
So it's more of a reactive than preventive lah.
Yes, correct, correct.
Can I say like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome. Right. So anyone else have a question? Do raise your hand, or you can talk straight away to me. Try to answer it as much as possible.
Okay, like one last thing.
Yes, yes.
Is there like a shelf life of the equipments and stuff?
Shelf life for the equipment
Yeah, or
itself.
warranty or something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Since it's just a
so
one-off thing.
okay, even though it's a one-off thing, right? The good thing about Eocortex right now is that because every year we have upgrades. Now
Okay.
it's actually up to your discrepancy whether or not the next upgrade you want to give it to your customer or you want to remain it the same.
Okay.
Yeah, because every upgrade still works with the license.
Okay. So can I say is it, the upgrades are all free lah?
Yes, correct, correct, correct.
Okay. So basically the upgrades are software, right? But hardware-wise, the equipment.
Hardware wise, you can still maintain. You can still maintain.
As per normal lah.
Yes. So let's say
Okay.
if it's a minor hardware upgrades like adding RAM, or let's say
Uh,
the analytics, you want to change from certain analytics that uses less to more, then there's a possibility that you need to add another graphic card in. So in that kind of instances, we call it a minor upgrades. Actually, it's not a very big issue.
okay. All right. Can.
Can I? All right. Okay. Let me switch this to. Right. So what I need everyone to do right now is that type in your name and then your email address, and then after that, once you hit send, I'll get all your contacts. So I'll send all the pricing to the email that I received. Is that okay?
Yep. Sounds
Okay.
good.
And I'll put in some material for you as well. So you were saying? So, finish video already. Yeah, in the first, yeah. Play on background. Yeah, you don't see it. Yeah. All right, guys, it's almost 1 hour, so just nice